welcome in. Should I say double overtime because we had overtime for the Pirates? You got more than the money. Man, it's been a what a game tonight. 88-78. Pirates win in overtime. Seahawks. What is now? The biggest cheerleader for the Pirates is Kyle from LaGrange Barber. What's up, dude?
Ron Ross has been Bob, baby. Good to beat the Seahawks tonight. Win by 10. That was the most stressful 10-point victory I think I've ever experienced.
Oh, a lot of drama, right? Hey, by the way, I've got a. If I had a hat on, I would tip my hat to you, Bubba Rosenbaum, because you were hesitant last night. You remember that? You were hesitant last night when Kyle and they were like, "Oh yeah, they're definitely going to cover." I thought they were going to win by 13, and you're like, and you were debating. Do you remember that?
Absolutely. I was, as soon as I predicted the 85-74 victory, I was like, that's way too much. And then in the first half, I thought, well, hey, maybe I'm going to be right. And then in the second half, I thought, well, no, I should have gone with my second instinct there.
Well, when we were down 10, my friend, I thought about you. I said, "Man, what Bubba said last night. As long as we beat the Seahawks by 1 point, that's all we need. Who cares right now?" I was like, "I don't care about covering right now. I just want to win by one." And lo and behold, we go to overtime. And then when I looked and saw the final score being 88-78, I was like, "Oh wow, we covered." How strange was that, Kyle?
Yeah, it was. I was hoping we'd win at the end of regulation. I was hoping Miles' shot would count, but unfortunately, just a couple tenths of a second off. It's hard to get a shot off with that little time left. But
Yeah,
went to overtime and, he dominated in overtime. And I think that speaks to the depth of the team. And Jaden had a terrible game, but a great overtime. So it was good to see him step up and play like the leader of the team he is in OT.
yeah, and Bubba, one of the things that was really surprising to me and for both of you is the fact we talked about it here pre-show was the very fact that they tried to. Here's the way I felt like you had the worst possible thing that could happen to the Pirates tonight happened early. Jaden Gardner gets his second foul, but this is not 2018, his freshman year. This is his junior year, and you've got a cast of characters around him. His sophomore campaign was tremendous. He should have been AAC Player of the Year. You have guys last year was kind of like a learning curve for him. They were not healthy. You had 7 injuries last year on the team. No excuses, but you fast forward to tonight, and I say this all the time with sports or anything, but experience breeds confidence. And you saw the experience breed confidence. And then you have guys like Farrakhan, and you got more, like Kyle said, you have more depth. And uh, Wilmington's a good team. They're young, and they're a great coaching staff. They have a lot going for them. But the one thing missing from them was the experience. It looks like playing together, and also the depth. I mean, man, that Sims kid was doing his normal thing, shooting out of his mind. I think Bubba, he had 28 points tonight, but it wasn't enough. And Pirates did a good job in the first half with him, most of the first half, as Bubba and I were talking about earlier. But it was really the late in the first half and the second half that he started being the Sims player, and we just couldn't stop him.
Yeah, and one thing I find interesting is how much better we played as a team when Jaden got in foul trouble. The other guy stepped up, and in the second half, I thought they came too reliant on
Right.
trying to get the ball to Jaden, and then I thought Jaden was a little. I don't want to say lazy. I thought he got a little complacent tonight, just trying to get the ball inside and get fouled rather than trying to drive it to the hoop and make shots. And just was it's not going to work. That's not that kind of basketball. It really didn't even work against Wilmington because they weren't calling a lot of fouls tonight. And
Right.
when you're playing somebody like SMU, playing like that damn sure ain't going to work. You need it. And I think what's good about tonight, I think there's a lot to be learned from that game tonight. Both first half, second half, and overtime. I think there's a lot to be learned from that game tonight. I think there's a lot that Dooley could take from that game film and coach things we don't need to do, can't do, and what we do need to do. And the good thing is he can use that tape after a win. We didn't have to lose to learn from the mistakes we made. And guys have got to learn to step up with Jaden in. That's only going to make Jaden better if guys
Yes.
will step up and make those perimeter shots and do the things they did when Jaden fouled out or not fouled out, but they took him out because of fouls. You know, if they'll step up and do those things with him in the game, then that's just going to get him open. You know, it's going to have to, guys are going to be able to double team him. So, you know, just glad we found a way to win.
Hey, by the way, I'm gonna put that out there like the Four Horsemen, Kyle. You're a big do the Four Horsemen. I'm not doing the Four Horsemen. I actually talking about the 4-0, the first time since 2013-14 season, and it's the only. This is what's amazing, Kyle. The fourth time, not in recent time, the fourth time in modern history that we have won. That's the Division One era. And you look at that 02-03, Bill Harrion, you have in there obviously with Lebo, and now here we are under Dooley. So just incredible 4-0 start. You would think that we would have more of those, but it just does a lot.
It makes me wish that we had a you know, because you get in conference play and it's a whole nother animal. Not that I don't think we can compete in the conference this year, because we can, but I just wish we had more non-conference games. I think we could really run our record up with non-conference wins this year. And then, you know, if we're middle of the pack in the American, you know, we would probably maybe even be like a 20-win team. But it's going to be hard with only 7 non-conference games to get that kind of win total, you know, with playing so many conference games. But who knows, man? I think if this team can keep getting better each and every game, who knows what kind of record they can end up with.
Well, I mentioned to both of you before the not to say that we can win every single game. Obviously, you have the North Florida game. All these games are not saying it's a slam dunk, you're going to win them, but they're winnable games. But you look at the North Florida game, you feel like you got a good shot there. You have 6 days off. You're at SMU. That's going to be a tough task. So if somehow you never know what could happen, but certainly you would like to think we'd be 5-0 going into that game. But after that, you have JMU. They've got a great program, but that's a winnable game. You look at the you're going to have in there coming up. You have for the Tulane is in there on the 22nd. You have at Wichita State on my dad's birthday, and normally, guys, I would say that's like climbing Mount Everest. But this year, they've got so much stuff off the court stuff that I'm not saying they're a bad team, and it's at Wichita State. But that, I mean, you've got both Tulane games in a matter of 10 days, and they're predicted to be the worst. So you're looking at, and the other thing, Bubba, I want to mention to you, I haven't even had a chance to talk to you. I noticed tonight, was mentioned to Kyle right before the show started. We don't play Houston till February 3rd, and it's home. And the very fact we only play them one time, and it's February 3rd. So who knows what the season's going to look like? But it just seems like the scheduling gods is in our favor too, where normally we'd have a lot of tough games back to back to back. But this particular case, everything is falling together. It seems like in line and together. And I'm not saying we're going to win 27 games straight, but I think our chances of I wish, but I would like to see the fact, Kyle. My prediction is I think we finished 6th in the conference out of 11 teams, and I think we've got a shot at that. If you look at our schedule and our conference schedule, I think we got a shot at. We'll see, but only the 4th game of the season. I'm not going to get too crazy, but I like where we are now versus where we were last year.
Yeah, of course. I don't know where we're going to finish in the conference standings. So there's a lot of basketball to be played before we, you know, even need to have those conversations. But I definitely think we have a chance to be a middle of the pack, you know, team. So, you know, 7th, 6th, 5th. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But you'd like to go 7-0 out of. Is it 6? How many? We got North Florida,
7.
JMU. Is that who
We have
else do you
7
have?
non-conference. You have
North Florida, JMU, and who?
Let's see, just one more. Hang on. I switched screens. Okay. So coming up, let's see. We had Wilmington tonight. We have North Florida, JMU. That's 6. Oh, it's only 6 conference games, non-conference.
Yeah, but we can play
we lost
7.
one.
Are we gonna?
Right.
Are we adding another one, Bubba? Do you know?
I've not seen anything.
They wanted to, but I don't know if they are.
Yeah,
That's what I heard. They wanted to add a game, but I haven't heard anything on that.
We have time. We have time.
I did see some talk on social media. Of maybe potentially adding Old Dominion prior to that game on the 16th against SMU. So that would be interesting, and that would be obviously a quality opponent and a program that's been in the top 25 in the recent past. Old Dominion.
ODU. Okay.
In Norfolk or Greenville? Do you know?
I do not know.
That would be a good opponent.
And there may not be anything to that. It's just something. I don't know if that was just speculation or if it's substantial.
Well, if you can play one more conference game and you've got that amount of time in between North Florida and SMU, then I think you do it. You can find somebody to play. I mean, there's enough Division I basketball schools in this area to be sure you can find somebody to play.
There's 18, right, Bubba? You can listen to our
that's
preview.
North Carolina alone. We haven't even got into
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, our state alone, there's enough that you would think you could add a game here and there, especially all the daggone games.
Well, what's Campbell doing? It seems like we always play Campbell. What are the Camels up to?
That's a good point. And they're another one that's kind of like a rival game that we always talk about Charlotte and Wilmington, but Campbell is a great game every year, it seems like.
Yeah, let's play somebody. I mean, you would figure if we're going to that announcement will be coming up here pretty soon. That's something you guys can, Dave, Bubba, if either one of you take part in the press conference Thursday after North Florida, that's a question for Dooley.
All right, Coach Dooley, we're going to ask you that. That will be it's a great point because we had the situation where we don't go down to the Gulf Coast Showcase, and then we scramble around and we got the great we were going to get 2 games, and then we only got 1. We got the Charlotte game.
Well, we made up with that. We made up for that with the Wesleyan.
Yeah. So if we could get 1 more, you're right, Kyle. That would be huge, and it could be the difference of. I'm telling you, if you have a special year, we might be able to get to sneak into the NIT. And that's one of those things that would be a huge. I'm not saying we will, but you never know with the way 2020's been. It's been crazy, and maybe one thing would go into our favor.
Yeah, who knows? In my opinion, if there's no CBI, I'd like to see them expand the field of the NIT this year, but they probably won't. But it would be. I've thought the NIT should. I've kind of thought they should have gone to 64 for a while. I think it would create a lot more excitement. Yeah. I think there's enough college basketball teams out there to support it and do away with.
There's 350.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's 357 teams, so it's not like.
And just do away with the CBI and the CIT, and that would it would be a lot of fun. It would be something legitimately, and I'd get excited about the CBI, but if you just think if we were the NIT, it would the excitement Pirate Nation would have with the lack of success we've had in basketball, it would be through the roof.
God. Yeah, not only that,
for the CIT. I mean, think about what we would do for NIT.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Kyle, because I was thinking about when we were on that run in the first half, and Bubba, it lived up to his name. I was going to say that earlier in the show, forgot. War on the Shore. But can you imagine when that run in the first half with the fans in the stands? That place would have been, the roof would be coming off.
I mean, just imagine the
it's
end of the game and in overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been electric. Can you imagine with that shot by JJ at the end? If the fans would have been in there, they would have been booing like crazy, the refs. But
it was a good call, but I hated it. It was very cool.
But we took care of business in overtime. Bubba, you got anything to say about the game, man? Are you?
Yeah, I was just waiting. I was waiting to be able to chime in.
Well, you can just tell me to shut the hell up.
No. Some viewers on YouTube, Conan C chiming in. Also, McLean Anderson. Going back to the schedule talk, Conan C says Tulane, and obviously spell check, or not spell check, but autocorrect got him there. Hitachi State, talking about Wichita State.
Hitachi State, all right.
Had to put that one up there. But as far as Wichita State's concerned, think back to our experience there last year. We were going in playing excellent basketball. That was during the stretch. That was our only loss in 7 games. And we took them down to the wire a season ago. So our
I
guys know
remember.
what it's
Yeah.
like to have success there. And this year they won't have to contend with at least as much of a crowd as they would typically have, 10,000 strong there in Wichita. So I definitely like our chances of winning there if we play the way we can play. And then you also have McLean chiming in. He said he'd like to play Houston twice. It's an opportunity to obviously up our net, which is the basketball version of the RPI. He said it would take probably top 3 to be considered for an at-large. That the AAC is down this year. We'll see.
Well, you
Yeah,
know what? If we're in
agree.
those conversations, we're being considered for an at-large to the NCAA, and then good God, that'd be tremendous. Whether we play Houston once or twice, maybe we get them the second time in the tournament. That'll help our RPI.
He also makes another excellent point as far as the Ivy League not playing, so that puts a bid on the table as far as the auto bid.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Auto bid turned at large. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, McLean, can we schedule Hitachi State for our other non-conference game? That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be great. I go to Japan.
Exactly.
Yeah, autocorrect to get you, man. The phones, they yeah. By the way, I've never said ducking in my life, so.
And then
all right.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, all right.
But
I had it on mute. I was laughing. I had it on mute. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Duck you.
But getting back to the second half comeback after they had gone on that 30-6 run, that's a game like Johnny Gardner and I were talking during the game that in previous years we would have lost when we were still trailing by 10, 67-57 with 6 minutes left. And we went on that 11-0 run to take the 1-point lead, and then we still had some lead changes after that, and so many clutch shots down the stretch by Batumba Baruti. He really had a coming out party tonight, career high 17 points.
Yes,
and
he did.
We'll go over the scoring on the whole here in just a few minutes and put it up on the screen for you for people watching live on YouTube and Facebook. But 17.6 rebounds for Batumba. I think he was something like 7 out of 11 from the floor. He shot a very good percentage, whatever it was. Maybe it's 7 out of 13, but he shot over 50%, whatever the case.
And it was at key
I think
times.
Bubba didn't.
He hit big shots at key times.
And he scored in a variety of ways. I think he finished with at least 2, maybe 3 3-pointers and some other perimeter shots. He scored going to the basket, mid range, and then he also scored a time or 2 on fast breaks where he made contested shots.
Yeah,
he had to
make a good point about we would have lost that game even last year probably, and they wanted to win. You can see the want, the desire, the intensity. They believe they're supposed to win, and that's one thing you hadn't seen with Pirate basketball a whole lot over the years. These guys think they're supposed to win these games.
And going along with that, Kyle, and you'll hear this from Coach Dooley himself here in a few minutes with the post-game audio, but Coach Dooley specifically said, I told the guys that a lot of people are turning their TVs off right now. They're going to find out that we aren't going away. So just remember that our guys this year, different team, and they're finding a way to win these games instead of crumbling down the stretch.
No,
well, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it, and that is because they have another thing is before, guys, one thing I was thinking about in the first half, Bubba and Kyle, is the fact that how many times we talk to guys on air, off air, at games, guys are former players, guys that, love the game, just Pirate fans. We talked when Dooley came here, we only had 3 American players, and one of them was Jaden Gardner.
The rest
And
were from
then
France.
yeah, and basically right now I love that joke. That was funny. Basically right now what we have is we have a situation where we have a whole team that belongs in the American. And you look at, I'll tell you one thing. If we ever get I've said this all along, but you're looking at the backcourt's fantastic. You look at the wing players, fantastic, long wing, athletic. You look at the physicality for these guys. Now, when they attack the basket, Kyle, you brought up the point about the perimeter, but when they attack the basket, they are a dangerous team in the American. But when they do the finesse, where we're just gonna pass it around and it's your time, it's my, that kind of stuff. They're going to lose a lot of games, so they can't do that. Just passing. It was almost like they were
No, and
trying
it's
to
fine. It's fine to
milk
play
some
on the
clock.
it's fine to play on the perimeter and try to get your outside shot going. But when you got the size advantage, like we did tonight against Wilmington,
Yeah.
drive to the basket, take it inside. I mean, I know they were doubling and triple teaming inside, but I mean, I don't know, man. You got to be able to take advantage of your size, and we found a way to win tonight by playing good defense and hitting some perimeter shots.
Yeah, talking about hitting some perimeter shots, we haven't even talked that much, if at all, about J.J. Miles and the performance he had. 22 points, 6 out of 7 from 3-point range, and just absolutely on fire all night tonight, and knocking down clutch shots. And taking a look, Brennan chiming in, just talking about the perimeter shooting, and he said that J.J. Miles was an absolute beast tonight, and then just the team as a whole from three shot it so well tonight. And taking a look at those numbers, as a team from the floor, we were 31 out of 68, 45.6%. But from three, we were 14 out of 24, 58.3%.
When have we shot 58% from 3-pointers or 3-point land? I mean, that's been a long time, I would think, Bubba.
Yeah, I didn't have time to go back and check, but that's obviously one of the better numbers we put up in quite a while. And we shot it well from the free throw line again, despite UNC Wilmington. UNC Wilmington did get there twice as much as we did, and they had 7 more makes than we did attempts, 21 out of 28 for UNC Wilmington, and that was really what was keeping them in the ball game in the first half. We built that first half lead of 16, and they had at least about half their points or close to it from the free throw line to remain in the ball game, and gave them a chance in the second half to make the comeback that they did. Then look at 24 assists, and that's an awesome number. Obviously, 18 turnovers. That's got to improve. That's far and away the most turnovers we've had all year, but it's also far and away the most pressure we've seen all year, and most athleticism and quickness we've seen all year. So it's not all that surprising to me. Not that I necessarily thought it'd be 18, but I thought we'd have probably
13 or 14,
probably 15 tonight. With it being the first time we had seen that type of pressure. And
some of that, though, Bubba, was I thought in the second half was Wilmington gave us a lot of pressure, but some of that at one point in that game was sloppy play.
Oh, absolutely. It definitely. I definitely was not saying that like it was all forced turnovers by any stretch, because a lot of it, like you're saying, was not feeding the ball to the post from the correct angle and trying to feed it there from the wing, like Coach Dooley references in his post-game remarks. It's got to try to make that entry pass from the top of the key some, and put it at the right trajectory. We're throwing it flat at times as well. So when other teams front Jaden Gardner, which is obviously going to happen, then we got to be able to take advantage of it. As far as individual numbers, we talked about J.J. Miles, 22 points, 6 out of 7 from 3. Batumba had the career high of 17. Jaden had his 24th career double-double, and that now ranks tied for 5th all-time at East Carolina, with Errol Bing, and
wow.
And also Jim Fairley from back in the 60s, I think. And then also you had Tristan Newton, who had a solid game after struggling against Radford. He nearly had a double-double, 10 points and 8 assists, while he only committed 2, maybe 3 turnovers. So pretty good floor game tonight on the whole from Tristan Newton. And then we talked about Jalen Sims for UNC Wilmington right there, just above his average, 28 points, 7 rebounds, nearly got half his points from the free throw line. 11 made free throws for Sims, and then you also had Harvey, Okoro, and then Pridgeon, the Holy Cross transfer. Those 3 reached double figures with 14, 12, and 11 respectively.
Yeah, Harvey, a big part of that game in the second half, guys, towards the end. I can't remember what minute mark it was, but when he fouled out, what was that, 2 or 3 minutes left of regulation? 2 minutes, I think. But when he fouled out, that was a big break for us.
Yeah, no doubt it helped. It helps for sure.
Because, you have a guy like him, a scorer, and you take him out, and that helped us, obviously, Wes, in overtime. Just now, thank you so much for everybody watching tonight. Obviously, we got post-game audio. Just a second, we have, obviously, J.J. Miles, Jaden Gardner, and Coach Dooley. We'll hear their comments, and we're going to keep doing the overtime. We obviously love this program with Joe Dooley and company, and do every single game. So we appreciate you guys, ladies, obviously tuning in tonight. If you have a question, comment, put it up there on YouTube and Facebook, and we'll get it to you. And appreciate it very much. By the way, again, next game will be on Thursday, Kyle. Your favorite time. What time is it, Kyle, on Thursday?
Yeah, 5 p.m. Somebody needs to answer the question of why we are having these 5 p.m. tip-offs on weeknights. I don't believe it's predicated by ESPN Plus. If it is, then I'll stand corrected. But I just don't see why ESPN Plus. It's not a television service. I don't see why they would care what time we started our games. It's streaming, so I don't know why we're doing that. But it really makes it tough to get home. I was home in time tonight to stream it, but not everybody else has that opportunity. That's getting off time for a lot of people. Hell, some people don't get off till 6 or later. So I don't know.
Right.
It is what it is. As long as we keep winning, we can play it at 5 a.m.
Just win, baby. That's right. And Bubba, I know that we have the post-game audio, and I'll pitch it to you.
Hey,
wait.
Before you pitch it to Bubba with the post-game audio, guys, I'm going to say my good nights and my goodbyes, and it'll be a 2-man show from here on out. I have got to hit the sack, go to bed, go to sleepy land, as Bubba would like for me to say. I first day back at work today after being on COVID quarantine, so my ass is worn out, and happy for the win. I'll be back with y'all on Thursday, hopefully celebrate another win against North Florida, and see if we get off to a 5-0 start. Y'all take it from here. Go Pirates!
All right, salute. Get some rest there, Kyle. And Bubba, it's kind of like a game of Survivor. It's down to you and me, my friend.
Yeah, we took part in the post-game Zoom with Coach Joe Dooley. And in addition to Jaden Gardner and J.J. Miles, we'll have their comments here shortly. But right now, let's go to that audio with the head coach of the Pirates, Joe Dooley.
Well, obviously, an unbelievable game of runs. I thought we were very good the first 20 minutes, and then that second 15 minutes, or the start to the second half, 13 minutes were absolutely horrific. A lot of it attributed to Wilmington's effort. Great effort, made some shots, got some confidence, and sort of put us on our heels. And then I thought our guys did a nice job of recalibrating. We're down 10. We did some good things, made some big plays, got some timely stops, and it was a good comeback win.
Coach, it seems like you guys just couldn't miss in the first half. Just how big was it for you guys to start shooting that well early on?
Well, it was good. It was a great start. And the other thing was we didn't turn the ball over. We moved the ball. We had great assist turnover ratio. Most of our baskets were assisted, and I thought that really helped us. I thought we really moved the ball well. And then, to start the second half, I believe it was a 30-6 run, but a lot of those were, how many of those were off of live ball turnovers, and we just threw the ball to them, and we got out of sync and got a little bit out of rhythm, and then they really took advantage. Made a great comeback, put us on our heels, and way too many live ball turnovers.
Coach, how hard is that at halftime when you're doing everything went so easily in the first half? How hard is it for them to understand that you got to play 2 halves?
Well, we talk about it all the time, even in practice, you can't turn it on and turn it off. I mean, practice, if you turn it down a little bit, all of a sudden it gets a little bit sloppy. And you just talk about that. Something we talked about immediately after the game is you can't relax for a second. You got to even get, because they're going to make a run. You're hoping not going to make a run like that they put on us. But they were going to make a run, and they made some shots. They had us, discombobulated. We were throwing the ball all over the place. And, then we sort of calmed them down, and I thought we made some, someone made some big shots. Jaden obviously made a bunch of big shots, and we got some timely stops.
Another building block for your team's belief system. Come back and win a game like this where you kind of came back from the dead here. What's it do for your ball club?
Well, I almost feel like we were 2-1 today. I mean, I thought you feel like you're going to win the game, and then you're looking at it like you could lose the game because of what we did, and then you come back and win the game. So, I thought Wilmington played really hard, especially in the second half. I thought, Harvey and those guys all gave him big minutes and big points, and Sims was terrific, made some timely shots. But I think from a standpoint of not giving in, it would have been easy when you're down. We were up 15 and now you're down 10. It's a wrap. And I said to guys, there's a lot of people turn their TVs off. You're going to find out we're not going away. And I thought that we really fought back, battled back, and showed some character.
It just seemed like in the first half, the offense almost ran better when Jaden wasn't in the game. I know they had a great plan to take him away. Can you kind of assess that and have that change after halftime?
Well, we made shots, and I think the other thing is we tried to throw the ball to him too many times when he was in traffic. And I didn't think Jaden had a great game. He obviously made some great plays, but he missed a bunch of chippies at the rim, and I think was trying to draw fouls too much as opposed to just jump up and finish. But the other thing is we don't always need to enter the ball from the wing. We try to enter the ball from the wing sometimes. We need to enter it from up top so we can see the picture and there's not as much help side. But obviously made some nice corner, little mid-post shots to really wrap it up. And I thought Patumba's three right in front of our bench might have been the shot of the game.
Coach, can you talk about the play of J.J. Miles tonight? He was sick, we know, and he lost a few days last week, and it played a lot better tonight.
He was great. I mean, we're talking about those, but I mean, he carried us in the first half, and he's easing his way back into shape. He missed 5 days, lost some weight. His win wasn't great, and he gave us not good minutes. He gave us great minutes. I shot the ball well. I thought his defense was good. He tried to do what we're supposed to do, and played to win.
Anything else, guys?
See you guys.
Let's go.
Thank you.
All right, that's the man, Joe Dooley, the architect of Joe Dooley 2.0. He is doing a great job. And Bubba, what a great guy to have Joe Dooley, a guy that's going to be a tough-nosed guy who, that he's going to get it done as far as the kids graduating and certainly doing it in the classroom, student athlete. He's selling the program. I remember I was thinking about this last week about how his first press conference, he said, we got to put a product on the floor for people to be excited about. Something, I'm paraphrasing him. And I think you could say now that there's a product on the floor that we can be excited about.
Yeah, there definitely is. Hopefully we'll continue improving, and it will remain that way. And when we can finally put fans back in the stands, Pirate Nation will show up and show out the way we have seen it on isolated occasions in the past. I've always said that Williams-Arena-Minges Coliseum can be one of the nation's premier basketball atmospheres. You've seen what it's done to primetime players and opponents through the years, like Dwayne Wade. Now we just have to have a quality product, night in, night out, or game in, game out, and I think we're on our way to doing just that.
I've got an idea. How about if we, with all this crowd noise they're doing, how about if we get your dad, Gary Rosenbaum, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, to do some of the jungle calls, and if they can record that and put that, because there was times tonight, Bubba, that you have a Bubba Rosenbaum, Gary Rosenbaum, the Richmonds are there, the Barbers are there, a whole bunch of Pirate Owl, the Powells are there, the Ponds are there. There's a whole bunch of great Pirates in Pirate Nation that would have been losing their mind tonight. I keep coming back to that, but when you have Wilmington, a non-conference game, it's a rival game, in-state game, They play a fun, exciting brand of basketball, and then we have our great players. The drama tonight, it would have been unbelievable, electric in that place.
Yeah, it really would have. I think back to some of the battles in the CAA days when we played
Yeah.
Wilmington, whether it was a game I was able to attend in Greenville or in Wilmington for that matter. A lot of fun matchups, and then some as a Pirate fan, not so fun against UNC Wilmington. And they've had our number down through the years. They've really worn us out down at Trask for the most part, but we've certainly like you saw on the screen earlier, I think we're 21-13 against them in Greenville now.
Yeah.
And you would hope, I mean, it should be that way at home. You should be winning 60% of the time or more, if not much more so. So hopefully we'll continue to defend the home court. And, when I think back, not to get off on a tangent, but I think back to the final year of the Eddie Payne era when Joe Dooley was an assistant. Tremendous game when Chucky Robinson was playing for the Pirates, and we beat UNC Wilmington. I want to say it was when Jerry Wainwright was the coach, 94-95. What a ball game that was, and I think there was 7,600 in Minges that day. But tremendous game, and here in just a moment, we'll have post-game audio for you from Jaden Gardner, who had his 24th career double-double, his first this season. And those 24 career double-doubles, they rank him fifth, or tied for fifth all time, with Errol Bing and also Jim Fairley.
No doubt about it. And by the way, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'll do it real fast. The most I've ever seen, Bubba, in the modern era is 7-0, I think. Or you'd have to go back to even that might go back actually to, I guess we were NAIA back then in the 50s. I'm not sure what classification we were, but there was a period of time where we won 41 straight home games. You're talking about dominating. You're talking about winning. How about 41 straight at home? Can you imagine that? Modern day Pirates winning 41 straight under Joe Dooley. Oh my goodness. You talk about a tough ticket to get. I was thinking about this right before we started tonight. The great thing about our fan base, it doesn't matter if it's Tiddlywinks, Monopoly, poker, whatever you have. If it's got ECU with it, the fans are going to be behind it. And you see right now the fruits, the hard work of this coaching staff. And you think about all the people behind the scene, the Kyle Robinsons behind the scene, and a guy like the sports information director, Jody Jones. All these men and women we have behind the scenes have really worked hard over the years, Bubba. And it makes me proud to see this program in just a short time. The season has really elevated into maybe we might be able to see things we've never seen before in the next couple. I'm not talking about right this second. I'm talking about the next couple of years. How cool would it be to be an NCAA team every single year? And I've said this when Joe Dooley started. It would be fantastic if we got to a point where we were disappointed because we had to settle for the NIT.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Pirates to be contending for postseason play, and who knows, it may be this year. We shall see. Just got to keep grinding and finding a way to get it done. But we have those post game comments for you with Jaden Gardner, the junior Pirate forward, and let's hear from Jaden right now.
Jaden, how do you even kind of begin to describe this one? From watching the first half from the bench, and then obviously the second half in overtime.
That was probably one of the most craziest games I've ever been in. I think probably played like 4 or 5 minutes first half. Watched the whole first half. Everything's going good, and then it turns on us. We kept turning the ball over. We get down by 10, but coach kept telling us we can change it. We can change it, and we showed a lot of toughness tonight. We fought back. We forced overtime, and then we had a great overtime, stretching the lead out and closing the game out. So yeah, that was the most craziest game I've been in as a Pirate.
Hey, Jaden, is this one of those games you can go back later on and learn from? I mean, you got in foul trouble early, and you can kind of learn some things from that.
Yeah, it shows who's going to step up, and who we can trust and who we can go to. JJ had a big first half, hitting a bunch of threes. Miles James came in, hit a big three. Tumba played great. Luigi was out there playing his tail off, switching on guards. Just a whole team effort the first half. And that helps guys when we get in the conference play. You know who you can lean on, who you can trust.
Jaden, they were obviously fronting you a lot, trying to deny you the ball in the post. How frustrating was that in the second half, especially when they were going on that run? And then to get in that hot spell late in the second half and overtime, how good did that feel?
Yeah, it was tough, man. Credit to them. He had an excellent game plan. They went 5 guards mostly the whole night, and they were making sure someone was in help. I was trying my best. My teammates were trying their best, and eventually we broke through in the end. But it was very hard to get the basketball and score tonight. But my teammates stepped up big time. Had a lot of big plays. The tumble down the stretch. Tristan, Suggs, a lot of good defense. A lot of good things to take on for tonight.
In the overtime, you started with a basket, and then JJ hit a 3. How much of that kind of set the tone? I mean, do y'all feel like y'all had control there early in overtime and had momentum?
Yeah, in overtime, whoever scores first, I feel like has that momentum because I think we started out and we got to stop, and then we came down and scored, and then we knew, all right, let's keep this going, let's keep going, and we on a 16-6 run to end the first half, and then we won another run in overtime. So our momentum was high. So that game was definitely a game of runs. We started our run first, they started, and then we finished it.
Jaden, they always say that great teams find a way to win. Do you feel like you guys are onto something special? We were 4-0 the 4th time in school history.
Yeah, man, we're on to something, and we have a lot of things to get better at and a lot of things to keep learning. But like I said last time, it's great that we're getting better and winning at the same time, and we're winning a different way each time. This was a different way to win. We were down by a lot late and came back, so went to overtime. So, yeah, this is a great thing to build on, and we're just going to keep going, keep winning.
And this has got to do a lot for your guys' confidence moving forward here. You're 4-0 now. Beat a really physical team tonight, one of the better teams in the CAA. What's this do for you guys moving forward a little bit?
Builds our confidence, builds our trust, our character. It builds our toughness, and it shows the guys that when their name's called, they'll be able to step up. And a lot of people, like I said, make big plays. Suggs, Batumba, Luigi, Tremont, Tristan, a lot of people stepped up. A lot of people stepped up tonight, and it was good to see. But, yeah, it builds everyone's confidence going forward for get ready for our next match Thursday night. Good.
There you have the post-game comments from junior forward Jaden Gardner, who again finished with 16 points and 11 rebounds tonight. He had 8 in regulation, but then really stepped up, started knocking down some shots in the overtime period and finished with those 16 points. And now it's just 4 shy of 1,200 points, and he should most definitely do that on Thursday night against North Florida, and he will become the Pirate to do that the fastest with his in his 67th game.
Hard to believe that he's played 67 games, but definitely 1,200 points. And I was talking to you guys last night. He's got a legitimate shot to get 2,000 points. And is it Blue Edwards that has the most points, Bubba? I think is the points holder, I guess, for the most points ever in school history. I believe that's right. I can't remember the amount of points that Blue would have, but Theodore Edwards, but we'll see. We'll have to check that. We'll have to fact check that, right? They always say that about politics. We'll fact check that. I think I'm right on that, but
no,
I'm not. I'm not right.
No, it's Bobby Hodges, and then Lester Lyons is second all time with 1825.
Second.
But
Okay.
Bobby Hodges, who played 51 to 54, that you were referencing earlier when we had so much success, he had 2,018 career points, and is far and away the leader there. And then
Okay.
you had Lester Lyons with 1,825. Then Sonny Russell, another guy from that era, 49 to 53. He had a little over 1,600, and then you had guys that you're really going to recognize for the modern era, guys like Caleb White, B.J. Tyson, Darius Morrow,
Yeah.
Antoine Gill from back in the Eddie Payne days, and et cetera. Right now, Jaden Garner entered the season 14th on the career scoring chart.
So he'll definitely keep climbing that ladder. And I mean, you're looking at right now, he has 1,200, like we were talking about, and this is only game number 4, and you've got plenty of games for him to play this year. And then he potentially could have another junior season and senior season. I don't know how that's going to play out. We'll see if he, after next year, if he stays or not, as far as declaring for the draft or playing overseas. I don't know what his plans are. I hope he stays for a 5th year. That would be incredible. We'll see how that all plays out. But right now, game number 4, Bubba is going to be remembered for many reasons, for sure.
Yeah, and definitely. In as far as Jaden and his rank on that scoring chart, it was 14th entering the season.
Okay.
Just to be clear, and things were really jumbled up through there. You had Kurt Vanderhorst, who was 10th with 1199. So obviously Jaden's, and he came into the night having scored 60 plus points in 3 games this year, and then he's now he has moved. He just passed Brock Young at
Oh, wow.
1,232. So he is 9th all time now.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, to think about it, the guy has a lot of basketball left. That's just incredible. But just says a lot about him. There were people after his freshman year that thought he would transfer and go to a quote unquote ACC school or another. And there's still a lot of time, but he actually gets it that he's something special here. He can continue to keep doing what he's doing. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Still a lot of time for that to figure if that's going to happen. We'll wait till after his career to really have that debate discussion. But based on what he's doing so far, you have to say that he's going to do that. So, all right, right now we have a guy that was down last week, Bubba, but he really, really played well tonight. The best game, I think. Wouldn't you say this is the best game in his career so far?
It's definitely right up there. I'm trying to recall. I know he really
It's a
got
career high.
Okay, I knew it was close if it wasn't, because I know last year during conference play, he had at least 2 or 3 games where he knocked down 4 threes, and in addition to some other buckets. I knew Batumba had the career high with 17, and I knew JJ was close. I didn't have time to fact check that one, but JJ Miles 6 threes, 22 points tonight in the victory over UNC Wilmington, and let's hear from him right now.
Guys, JJ's here, so we'll take questions for him.
JJ, just how can you describe what it was to be like or be a part of this game tonight?
It was good, you know what I'm saying. My first couple of games getting back in rhythm, you know what I'm saying. Like we started off good and we got down like early in the second half. So it was good to see the team show toughness and fight back and be able to keep composure and come out with the win.
When you have a shooting night like tonight, do you know out after warm-ups that you're going to have a good night?
I mean, not really. As a shooter, I feel like once you see the first one go in, you know what I'm saying, your teammates find you in your spots, you know what I'm saying, you pretty much downhill from there.
What was that?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, the mic.
What was that first half like? I mean,
Unmuted.
Can you say it one more time, sir?
What was that first half like for you?
I mean, it was like really like reminiscent for real, like, you know, with this coronavirus and all that, you know what I'm saying? We ain't really been able to get it going, but it was a good feeling.
JJ, how can you kind of describe the second half when they were going on that huge run, took all the momentum? What was the mood of the bench like? Because you guys didn't seem to kind of lose your composure.
You know what I'm saying? So my teammates, I love my teammates, you know what I'm saying? They're good dudes. They always encourage, you know what I'm saying? So it was tough, you know what I'm saying? It was frustrating that we was turning it over more than we was getting shots. But like I said, we stayed solid and kept our composure. You good? Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
There you have the post-game comments of East Carolina's J.J. Miles on the 6'7", Garysburg, North Carolina product. Again, knocked down 6 out of 7 threes tonight, finishing with a career-high 22 points. And Dave, last year he did score 21 on 2 occasions. The most recent was in mid-February when he put up 21 against the Tulsa Golden Hurricane out at Tulsa. And he also had a game on January 25th against Tulane at Minges, where he knocked down 7 threes.
Yeah, I remember our friend Chris Edwards saying that on the broadcast, and 22 is a career high for him. And you know what's great, Bubba, is the very fact. Can you imagine when you think about all the players you have, a guy like JJ, he really steps up. And how about Batumba Barudi? My goodness, I tell you one thing. Coach even said it. I think it was preseason, maybe one of our Zoom calls, Bubba, that Batumba would be the first to tell you that he was very disappointed, very upset with his junior season, and he really has been. You can start to see him really come into his own, and that's what's so much fun about college sports. You see these guys really blossom, and you see a guy like Jaden Gardner, even he's getting better from his even from last season. So I'm just really tickled to death with this team. And moving forward, I assume we'll have a preview for North Florida. So we'll try to do that for you in the next day or two. And that's coming up on Thursday, as you see on the screen. If you're listening to us on the podcast, it'll be Thursday at 5 p.m. on ESPN Plus. It's Kyle Barber's favorite time for a basketball game. Not really that sarcastically, I'm saying that, but you know what? Like you said, Bubba, if we have to play every game at 5 p.m., if that's what it takes to win basketball games in Greenville, play every game at 5 p.m. for all I care.
Yeah, keep winning, Pirates. And as far as North Florida is concerned, I have not really had a chance to take much of a look at them in terms of their personnel. I do know earlier that they had played FAU tonight. They lost a 2-point game to them. That game was at UNF. They failed 79-77 to the Owls. And then over the weekend on Saturday, they had been here in North Carolina taking on High Point. High Point defeated them 85-74. And prior to that, they'd had a very tough schedule. They'd played at 3 ACC opponents. They opened the season with Eastern Kentucky, lost to the Colonels 80-67, and then lost at NC State 86-51, at Miami 77-59, and then at Florida State 86-58. And so tonight was far and away their most competitive loss, and it's a game that we should most definitely win. But at the same time, we can't come out there and sleepwalk.
No.
Otherwise, we're going to find ourselves in a dogfight. And I don't think that's going to happen. Tonight was an excellent wake-up call and a win. And you saw we answered the call, and that's multiple times this season we've done that now. And in the first 2 games, we rallied. And Jaden Gardner referenced that in his post-game comments, just talking about how we've won in different ways, and you still have the opportunity to take a look at the tape and see there's so much that we can improve upon.
No doubt. And Bubba, I want to get your opinion on this. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show. I was going to mention the fact when I was watching that game and listening to the game, it gave me a feel, and I don't know about you, everybody's different, but it gave me a feel of a postseason tournament game, like an American, or maybe a future game we would have and down the road in the NIT or any kind of postseason play. It didn't feel like the 4th game of the season. It had so much drama, and I'm glad it turned out the way I did. But I want to get your take on that.
Yeah, I think what you saw was, even though this hasn't happened on an annual basis in recent years, the rivalry between East Carolina and UNC Wilmington, and this is one I would love to see it get back to us playing annually, if not twice annually. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. As much as it would be fun from a fan standpoint, I don't know that the coaches would necessarily want it to be twice a year. But I think saw some comments from UNC Wilmington athletic director Jimmy Bass earlier today that they're wanting to schedule a 4-game series, home and home with the Pirates instead of just a bye game, which is what this was tonight.
Yeah, and the fact that Jimmy Bass is an East Carolina guy, right, Bubba? I mean, he was in administration, and then he became the athletic director at Wilmington, right?
Yeah, he actually Jimmy's. I get what you're saying, and he is an East Carolina guy in a sense because he had multiple stints here for sure, and then he's actually an alum of NC State.
Right. Yeah, I'm not saying he's a alum of that, but the fact he was in administration. My point is he has ties here and roots here. Not that he's a Pirate, meaning that he graduated here, his alma mater, but the fact that he gets it. I was happy to hear that. And again tonight with our friend Chris Edwards referenced that on the ESPN Plus broadcast tonight with Jay Sunhalter. The fact that the local, I guess he made comments, I guess, to local paper and the local media, and I think that's it's an important game, and definitely for Wilmington and for East Carolina, for both teams, it makes perfect sense. Play a game, at least one game, or home and home, and then you have each year, and then you have at least once a year, and then you have games like Charlotte, and you have a game like with Campbell and Bubba with we talk all the time about our financial woes. One of the things I think Jimmy Bass mentioned, or certainly was mentioned on the broadcast, is, I mean, that's a 2-hour game. That's a easy drive. That's a bus ride where a lot of times we're trying to get on a plane somewhere.
Yeah, it's a game obviously under normal circumstances. It's great for the fans, whether it's in Greenville or Wilmington, and they love an opportunity to knock off the Pirates, and from their perspective, that makes perfect sense. They don't have football, and East Carolina is obviously well followed in the eastern part of the state, particularly, and I can imagine that they get tired of hearing about East Carolina and
in Wilmington, right? There's a lot of Pirate fans in Wilmington.
There's plenty of Pirate alums and students, etc., that are from Wilmington or that general area. So, yes, it's a great game. It's what college sports, what makes college sports great. The rivalry matchups like that. I remember. I guess it was during the Bill Harrion era, maybe the second or third year of the Harrion era. We had gone down there, my dad and I, and right outside of Trask, they had a bug that was painted purple, and they were selling tickets to students to for an opportunity to swing a sledgehammer and knock the window, kind of a demolition derby type of deal, and they were just hammering that bug that was spray painted purple with ECU in gold on the side.
I bet that went over really well with Gary Rosenbaum. I have a feeling that was. I'm sure he enjoyed that.
That was also the infamous game where Fred Primus, who played for the Pirates, the Wilmington students draped a banner over Fred's face as he was leaving the court, going to the locker room, and there was a little exchange there. So memorable night in Wilmington from that standpoint. Unfortunately, we lost the ball game.
Yeah, we've had a lot of tough games with them over the years, especially like you said down in Wilmington at Trask Coliseum. But the good news is Pirates get a big win, 88-78 in overtime, and first overtime of the year, first overtime game, Bubba. And you have a feeling like that when we have the games we have coming up, we'll take one game at a time. North Florida, again, is 5:00 on Thursday, ESPN Plus, and of course our good friends with Learfield IMG College, and that's our good friends Jeff Charles and Cy Seymour on the call. They'll have that airtime. It should be at 4:30 on Thursday afternoon. So if you want it radio wise, like Kyle said, if you're trying to get home, maybe you're listening at work, you can listen to the game, and that'll be on Learfield IMG. You can get that on TuneIn Radio app, or certainly locally, the flagship stations 107.9 WNCT. So I want to give them a shout out. Bubba, it's so great for us to be able to talk about overtime, and we've had 4 successful overtime games meaning broadcast, not overtime games, where we're talking about wins, not losses. Not like those close games where we're talking about where some people call them moral victories.
Yes, the trend I can certainly get used to. It's a lot of fun being able to talk about win after win. And let's hope it continues.
No doubt. And I know that Kyle went to sleep about 30 minutes ago. Bubba, hope you're feeling better, brother. And same to Stacy, give her a shout out. And I have to work tomorrow, so I want y'all to get better. And I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get some sleep. But man, I'm going to sleep a lot better knowing the Pirates get a big win over UNCW over the Seahawks again, 88-78 in overtime. We'll mention that for the final time. Thank you so much for everybody listening. And we'll see you next time right here on Overtime. We'll be doing it again Thursday night right here. Good night, everybody. And as always, go Pirates.